Hello there, everybody. I'm mrgameandpie, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64. Last time we started up the game and took on the entirety of the first area, Popstar. This time we're going to be starting up the second area of the game, Rockstar. And as one might expect, Rockstar is an Earth-inspired area. And we're starting off with a wonderful desert level here. And hey, we got, well, my first time using this copy ability, it's the Needle ability. The Needle ability has appeared in quite a few games so far, but in fact it's appeared quite a few times in this game so far, but we're actually going to toss it aside real quick and just get the Stone ability. Just the regular Stone ability. You don't always have to combine abilities, sometimes the singular abilities alone are fine enough, though they usually only comprise Kirby's basic body, as opposed to, you know, combo abilities that will often extend very far away from him. Yeah, I mean, this Stone ability is... I mean, even the single Stone ability is pretty effective in this game. You know, usually the Stone ability is an ability that you just jump in the air, land on an opponent, and you're stuck there pretty much, unless there's like a hill for you to roll down. But this game's Stone ability is much better than most. You can actually roll around pretty easily, and then even after you're done rolling, you can walk around after that. So, it's pretty fantastic. First little crystal shard right there. So as I mentioned previously, Popstar was the shortest world in the game with just 3 levels and a boss. However, every world after it is going to get quite a bit longer each time. Oh, and there oh, no! Let me pass. Oh, now that is unfortunate right there. I was wanting that Stone ability for a reason, but unfortunately I got stuck behind the enemy and I didn't want to run into it with the Stone ability again because it would knock me backwards. Well, I may have to come back to this level at some point, or I might not, but hey, here we have something. It's a keep moving section. Not something new to the Kirby series, but we're going to be seeing a lot more in this game than usual. Although I guess Dreamland 2 actually had a lot of keep moving sections. I mean, like, it had a lot of keep moving sections. That game, oh my gosh, so many. I don't think Dreamland 3 had nearly as many, but it had other things that was kind of odd about its level design. But yeah, you can expect quite a few of these in this game, and this one isn't really so dangerous. I mean, the sand is filling up, and that's a pretty classic trope. But, you know, we just had to keep climbing ladders, and it wasn't really ever dangerous. And you can touch the sand. It just acts as a platform. And hey, check it out, it's Waddle Dee's help in this world. It's pretty minor, actually. Waddle Dee doesn't typically get to do a whole lot. Now there's this thing right here, it's yellow and brown. That means that we're going to need a combination of the Spark ability and Stone ability. Previously I mentioned that, you know, there's certain platforms that are going to require you to use abilities to break. And, you know, sometimes these obstacles will be a single color, requiring just a single ability, but more often than not, they'll require 2 abilities, or a combined ability. And hey, it's our first time using the Spark ability in this game. It's pretty standard, it's a shield, although notably, this Spark ability, you can actually move around with it. It does decrease the range of the Spark field around you, but it's still pretty effective. Unfortunately, there was no stone thing in that area, that's the reason why I was trying to get Stone over there. But fortunately, we can re-enter the level and try again. Which is exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'll be back here in a second. Here we go. Got the Stone Spark ability, and it's a big ball that's a rock ball that's attached to a tether. So much easier. Also, if you try to grab a crystal shard in a level that you've already got it in, it'll just be a blue star that'll give you a bunch of little points down there on your star bar. And we're back. So yep, as we can see, now that we have the Stone Spark ability, we can easily just break that and bam! And I believe that we can just leave the level, and yep, we still have the crystal shard. This is not one of the Kirby games where once you collect a collectible, you'll have to beat the level to keep it. Which, that's nice, I actually prefer that. Around the time of Kirby Squeak Squad, they changed it up so that anytime you get a collectible, you gotta beat that level if you want to keep it. And yeah, it just makes things more convenient if you can leave at any time. Alright, but yeah, this is, a lot of people consider this to be one of the best abilities in the game, but personally, I've never really been a big fan of the Spark Stone copy ability. It's just a little bit awkward to use. The tether does act as damage, and you can just shoot the rock straight forward if you want to. It doesn't start bouncing around until it reaches the end of its tether the first time. But it's just a little too uncontrolled for my liking. That said, I think we can actually get kind of an interesting ability here. I don't believe that we'll require any specific ability for this level, so I can just combine Spark and Fire, two energy-based abilities. We get Friction Kirby. Kirby sets his head on fire and he just starts running forward. You're basically invincible while you're doing this, and it's pretty fantastic. You can't exactly stop moving, though you can just, like, walk in place, basically, if you really want to. It's not the most convenient power, but I still enjoy it quite a bit. Ah, yes, now we have Mumbies. Technically, I guess we have seen Mumbies before at one point. But, yeah, that didn't really count because it was just Adeline painting a Mumby, rather than an actual Mumby. Mumbies act a lot like boos from the Mario games, where whenever they see you, or whenever you turn away, they'll follow you. And, kind of like the boos from Mario games, they are immune to something. They can't be inhaled. That said, you're typically going to have a copy ability, so the fact that they can't be inhaled is really more of just a bygone product of whenever they were in the very first Kirby game. Kirby's Dream Land, I'm pretty sure, had Mumbies. And in that game, copy abilities didn't exist, so the fact that you couldn't inhale them was actually relevant. But these days, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of people that didn't even know that you couldn't inhale them, because why would you ever inhale something unless you were trying to get a copy ability at this point, you know? Alright, so hey, I want to show off something kind of cool here. A little bit of a little-known fact. So whenever you inhale certain enemies, you can actually put them above your heads, and you can use special abilities with them. So with these fish enemies, they'll actually allow you to swim really fast through the water. And that's pretty cool. There are a couple different enemies that do things like this, like Glunks down here, they do something. When you put them above their head, they'll constantly fire off a series of shots. And Bronto Burts also do something. They allow you to jump, like, they give you a super jump, basically. Alright, let's, Oh, okay, even though that's a pass-through platform, it didn't allow my projectile to pass through it. Let's try this a little bit different. Well, actually, no. Hitting those guys with any kind of projectile is difficult because they have a shield that they'll block your stuff with. So that's kind of annoying. Can probably use this as a platform to... Yep, there we go. I get the feeling that I missed something in this level. I usually end up doing that. Anyway, let's get the needle ability here. Ah, yes, this guy. This guy, for some reason, I always had a big trouble dodging him. I don't really know why, but he gives you the ice ability. And Ice Needle is pretty cool. It allows you to turn into this big snowflake. Kirby is a special snowflake. And it's basically like the regular needle ability, except the needles expand outward a little bit more slowly, but they turn things into ice blocks, as most ice abilities will do. It's a nice little ability. It's not the most effective thing, but it looks really nice. I like the way that snowflakes look. Alright, but yeah, here we have DDD's first instance of being helpful. Typically, whenever DDD helps out, he'll allow Kirby to ride on him. Oh, okay. The Galbos here can be a little bit of a problem. Oh, I actually made that jump first try. Nice. I often miss that jump on my first attempt. Yeah, Deedee's platforming segments can often be a little bit more difficult, because even while Kirby's flight is limited in this game, he can still fly. But Deedee, despite being some sort of bird, whether a penguin or an albatross or something else altogether, Deedee can't actually fly in this game at all. Even though he can usually fly, it is one of his abilities. Just not today. Ah, I missed. Oh no, I got all the crystal shards there. Okay, nice. Oh, I think I'm gonna need an ability that I don't currently have. But fortunately, I can actually grab it real quick, so I'm just gonna do that real fast. Alright, so here we go. I got the Stone Needle ability. One of my favorites in the game, really. Kirby activates a drill. And the drill could just sort of carry him forward for basically forever. Or, if you let go of the attack, it'll fire off the drill as a projectile. It's pretty great. And it's not specifically the ability that we need here. We can use any stone ability, really. But it's the one that I typically like to do. For some reason, I've always felt like it was required, like this specific ability was required for this one. But not really. I've already destroyed it to this point, but there used to be a little spinal column right here that was brown. And thus, by destroying it, we can get inside the skeleton and grab this crystal shard. And there we go. That was, like, super easy. Yeah, as you can see, there were no stone enemies at the very beginning of this level. And while I'm sure we'll find a stone ability at some point during this level, it probably won't be for a little while still. So, yeah, there's no coming back from this little sand pit here. Alright, so here we have a decision. Do we go to the left? Or do we go to the right? There's a correct decision here, and I'm pretty sure it's going to the left. Well, we got ourselves a mini-boss. So that's probably a good sign. Yes, it was, because now we get a crystal shard. If we had gone the other path, I think we would have gotten like a bonus room with some power-ups in it, but we would have ended up on the other side of this room in the foreground. And we wouldn't have gotten a crystal shard there, so no, we're not going to do that. Got a nice little star over here. It is often a good idea to check the left of the screen. You can often find nice little bonuses over there. Typically nothing major, but an extra star or health piece or two never hurt anybody. Alright. So, oh man, it's an antlion. Those sure do exist. Let's see here, there's some enemies down there, nothing too dangerous. Yeah, all this stuff is pretty basic platforming. Not really much to worry about. Oh, except now we're getting to really our first example of deep water. Well, we had a little bit of it there anyway. But yeah, your copy abilities actually do work in the water in this game. Typically only a select few abilities like sword or hammer or maybe parasol will work underwater. But in this game, much like the other Dreamland, or, well, I guess Dark Matter Trilogy games, all of your copy abilities work underwater, but they're all much slower. As you can see, we're moving a lot slower now. Whenever we fire off the drill, it takes a lot longer to do. Alright, let's just keep moving here. I'm pretty sure that we're going to find a crystal shard at some point in this level, but not quite yet. Oh yeah, we got an extra life from collecting all the stars. Yeah, there's a lot of cutter enemies around here. Cutter isn't a good ability to have right now because whenever you throw your face off with the cutter ability, you can't swim. You'll just sink. So, yeah, don't get the cutter ability here, at least not the pure cutter ability. There are plenty of combo cutter abilities that could work fine, I suppose, but not just regular cutter. That wouldn't cut it. Yeah, there's all these skeleton pieces that start falling around here. At least I think they're skeleton pieces. They look like, you know, spinal cords of the skeletons that we've been seeing previously. I don't know what they're skeletons of, but it is rather ominous. Alright, let's just, let's try to do this. Yes, perfect. And with that said, gang, I think that's the end of this episode. So, I'm mrgameandpie, and make sure to check out my, you know, social media accounts down in the description, as well as maybe checking out my Patreon and supporting me so I can continue making these videos. Until next time, see you later.